are she, her, hers, and I am the facilitator for the Greener Sanctuary at UUFNN. We gather this morning to honor Earth Day, which started over 50 years ago in 1970. At that time, there were many environmental groups fighting many environmental issues like oil spills, air pollutions, toxic dumps, just to name a few. And on that first Earth Day, these groups united around shared values to demand change. On that first Earth Day, 20 million people showed up across the United States. And because of that public outpouring, the Nixon administration was persuaded to take action. So they created the Environmental Protection Organization, and they enacted the Clean Air Act and the Clean Water Act. Earth Day is a story about shared values and showing up. And these are things that UUs know something about. One of the reasons that we show up is because we want to protect the people and places we love. So today, we are going to reflect on shared values and the love that protects us to protect this place we call home. Our format's a little different today. 3 people are going to read a love letter to you about something they love, something they want to protect, something they want to share with future generations. And in the coming days, I would like to invite you to write your own love letter. What do you want to protect for future generations? And now I'd like to invite Karen to come up and light the chalice while I read something from Reverend Margaret Keith. As surely as we belong to this universe, we belong together. We join here to transcend the isolated self, to reconnect, to know ourselves to be at home, here on the earth, under the stars, linked with each other. And now please rise in body or in spirit and join in singing Blue Boat Home.
Earth Day is a touching day. I was reading some articles that talked about penguins who are diving 50 feet into the water to try to find food. The most interesting article I read is that there's going to be snow farms in Europe where they're going to save the snow over the summer so they'll have snow for the next year. So it is really concerning what's happening to our Earth. So today I have a book. It's called Earth Ninja. And I have a 13-year-old grandson who comes to the Worship Associates meeting with me because I provide transportation to another. So he said, I'd like to come someday. And we talk about many things at the Worship Associates meeting. And I said, well, it'd be great if you could come and read the book. And he said, well, actually, I was thinking about coming to the ice cream social. So I'm reading the book today. So, Earth Ninja. And this is a book about recycling, kind of a reminder for all of us. It's by Mary Nunn. After lunch, Lazy Ninja threw everything into the trash. Lazy Ninja saw the recyclable bin, but didn't really understand what it was for. That afternoon, Lazy Ninja and I went to the beach and played with the waves. Suddenly, we noticed a turtle that was lying on the shore, wiggling. Let's try. Oh, let's see, I missed a page. We walked up to the little turtle and noticed that he was wrapped in plastic. Let's try to remove the plastic, we said. After a while, we fed the turtle from his plastic chains and freed him to be okay. Wow, how's he end up like that? When we don't throw away our trash properly, a lot of it ends up in the ocean, which I didn't know that. Yeah, happens all the time. If every ninja did their part, our Earth would be better. How? We can practice the 3 R's. Come on, I'll show you. We can turn used paper into art supplies or scratch paper for notes. We can reuse lunch containers instead of plastic wrap or disposable baggies. And we can remove plastic and paper bags as liners for trash cans. We can take the time to recycle glass, paper, boxes, and plastic. Riding our bikes or walking can reduce our carbon footprint. Using uneaten food as fertilizer can reduce food waste. And making sure we put reusable bags in the car for shopping can reduce plastic wrap. I had no idea I had an impact on the Earth. Yep, we all do. And then some interesting facts. If you line up the plastic bottles tossed away each year, they would circle our planet 4 times. Energy saved from recycling a glass bottle can light a light bulb for 4 hours.
Good morning. I'm Bill Miller, pronouns he, him, whatever. And it's now time in our service for joys and concerns. Do we have any written joys or concerns in the back? Well, while they're drifting forward, if you are online, you can place yours in the chat. And otherwise, we would just silently consider our own joys and concerns, sharing them heart to heart. And on this Earth Day, my joy is that we live on a beautiful blue marble hovering in space. Inconceivable. And the sorrow, of course, is that we are seemingly unable to stop destroying it, but we are going to keep trying, and we are going to succeed. So those are my joys and my concerns. And with that, we continue our service.
Good morning, everybody. My name is My name is Janet, and pronouns are she and her. I would like to make an announcement. Oh, excuse me. I would like to make an announcement. Twice a month during Sunday services, you will hear 3 notes being played on the chimes, like so. And then they will be announcing climate notes. Then one of our Green Sanctuary team will offer a short message relating to our environment and climate change. And our spiritual guide will be the UU value. We honor the independent web of all existence of which we are a part. With humility and reverence, we covenant to protect Earth and all beings from exploitation, creating and nurturing sustainable relations of repair, mutuality, and justice. I have the honor of presenting the first climate note this morning. So, there it is. My subject is trees. They play an invaluable role in both the balance and beauty of nature. Trees absorb carbon dioxide from the air and replace it with the oxygen that we breathe. Their shade provides a cool relief from the summer heat, and their beauty and variety abound. The aspens, the oaks, the pines, the maples, the sequoias, the fruit trees, the willows, and on it goes. I would like to share a poem that I wrote called Lifelong Friends, about the trees that I have known. And as I read it, please think of the trees in your life that have given you pleasure. Wherever I have lived, there was a favorite tree nearby, one that stirred my soul. As a child, it was a down tree that lay upon the ground in a field nearby, whose roots still clung to the earth and allowed it to remain green and alive. Lying down, inviting me to climb aboard and let my imagination soar and sway with the tree out to sea, where my sturdy vessel carried me to places that I have never seen. As an adult, after a trolley ride to work, I walked along a leafy street to pass a line of beauties, tall, majestic, and filling me with awe and delight. Each morning, breathing in their scent and feeling their essence as I passed. The calm of their presence clung to me as I began each day. As I have aged, there is another thick-stemmed beauty at the edge of a park that I walk, near a river that gives moisture to its branches as it stands alone and waits for me to notice and say hello. What a wonderful friend. That tree inspired me to plant a young dogwood that makes me smile as I gaze upon it through my window. My greatest hope is for Earth's enduring vitality, for future trees to nourish future human spirits. Thank you.
Thank you, Janet. That was beautiful. Our Unitarian Universalist principles guide our actions and priorities. You'll find them in Article 2. And you probably know that Article 2 is periodically reviewed to make sure that it's still up to date. So after a lot of hard work, the Unitarian Universalist Association has put forward a revision centering our UU values in love. So today, since we're celebrating Earth Day, I am going to read to you again the new value of interdependence found in Article 2. Janet just read it aloud, but I think it's worth going through again. And for many of you, it will sound familiar, but there are some important updates. Okay, so here goes. We honor the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part. With humility and reverence, we covenant to protect the earth and all beings from exploitation, creating and nurturing sustainable relationships of repair, mutuality, and justice. For me, this statement makes it so clear exactly what it means to honor the interdependent web of existence. Humans have exploited the earth for thousands of years, and for a long time, our impact was limited. Humans could simply move on to the next valley where things were better. But that is no longer possible. Climate change is affecting all of us now. There is no valley or planet we can move on to. The UU value of interdependence calls us to protect the earth and all beings from exploitation. This UU value calls us to create and nurture sustainable relationships. Why? Because we love this place we call home. Naturally, we want to protect the places and people we love. So quoting again from Article 2, love is the power that holds us together and is at the center of our shared values. We are accountable to one another for doing the work of living our shared values through the spiritual discipline of love. I'd like to point out that love is not limited to human relationships. And in the United States, there are more households with pets than children. Anyone who's had a pet knows how deeply you can love an animal friend. Love also extends to the non-human world. Does anyone have a favorite place? When I was growing up, it was the creek behind our house. And I still smile whenever I think about that place. So let's hear more about love in these next 3 love letters. Brad, what do you love beyond your wife?
I love the desert, and I love the desert bighorn sheep, Nevada's official state animal. But it was in Southern California, where I grew up, that I first came to this love. As a boy, I used to love climbing things, and upon occasion, my family would pack up the wood-paneled station wagon. This was the 70s. And we'd head out for a picnic of what was then called Joshua Tree National Monument, now a national park in the Mojave Desert. The park is a climber's paradise, and my spirit would exult in skirting up the large granite boulders to attain a caressing breeze and a sweeping view of the natural arid landscape. Somewhere along the line, the desert bighorn sheep became my favorite animal, or one that I identified with, because I imagined how their spirits too must exult, clambering over that rocky desert terrain. Later, as I strived to get through college and I had to come up with a major, I decided to study something that interested me, something that I felt passionate about, something that I loved. So I decided to major in geography with an emphasis on the physical natural landscape, inclusive of the flora and fauna. It worked. I got my BA degree. Yet the experience would also usher me into a greater environmental awareness of how human activities can contribute to the degradation of this interdependent web of life of which we are a part. I learned, for example, how the desert bighorn sheep are threatened by their loss of habitat and their habitat fragmentation from human development, and how they're susceptible to disease from domesticated sheep, and how human-induced climate change can dry up the water they need to drink and disrupt the quality of vegetation they need to eat. Throughout the 1990s, myself, among others, sought the use of education, reason, and calls for restraint towards these human activities. By the end of the 90s, I lost faith that such calls, while ever important, could match the human passions behind those human activities. I felt despair, and it's reflected in the poetry that I wrote at the time about an encounter I had with a desert bighorn ram. But since that time, I've taken an increasingly mystic path. My musings on nature would go inward into human nature. While I still endure periodic bouts of despair, I've developed a certain degree of faith in love in its myriad of forms, including love letters. While there are legitimate and formidable obstacles to love, I see no impasse. Bill, what do you love?
Thank you, Brad. That was beautiful. So for me, after burning a gallon or so of gasoline driving here this morning, reciting a love letter to the wonders of the earth and nature felt a bit incongruous. So I've chosen hope. Hope is quite a remarkable contrivance. Whether its origin, whether from Greek gods in Pandora's box, hardwired by evolution, or just a clever mental device invented by humans, hope is unique, both ephemeral and powerful. While it can appear whimsical in the face of hard-edged reality, hope can also will itself into reality. Hope, merged with fierce intention, can indeed move mountains. Viktor Frankl, in his tiny yet epic book, Man's Search for Meaning, described how Jewish slave laborers in the Nazi death camps would keep a cigarette lodged in one ear as a totem of hope for the future. If a prisoner smoked that cigarette, symbolically giving up hope, he would be dead by the next day, of no discernible cause. That is the power of hope, and of hope discarded. So what about us? Today, here we stand, in a world we are almost casually destroying with our mechanized comforts and conveniences. Many of us cushioning our inaction with inertia, apathy, even cynicism. Dare we hope? I say yes. I say to hope is to dare. There is no net under hope. There is no place to hide. Hope is bold, daring. Hope is life. And hope, that is why I love you, cherish you, and pray that you never let me leave you in the worst of times when I need you most.
Thanks, Bill. My love letter is to the maple trees of New England. I grew up in Massachusetts, and every fall was gloriously beautiful as your leaves turned from their summer green to the brilliant oranges, reds, and yellows of fall. Isn't that beautiful? Imagine the whole of New England dressed in this. I remember walking along a path in the woods of New Hampshire as a child with my family on a soft carpet of your falling leaves and being surrounded by your colors. At one point, we came to the edge of a pond, and I felt overwhelmed, seeing your reflections on the water doubling your magnificence. Your generosity has given us even more. Your leaves pull in the sunlight and carbon dioxide and create the essential sugar molecules that can eventually wind up in a bottle of maple syrup. I am concerned about the stress that you are feeling because of climate change. Over the past 3 decades, there has been a 10-day shift in the sugaring season. In Massachusetts, the season traditionally comes in late winter to early spring, and sap starts flowing when the weather goes through a cycle of very cold nights and above freezing daytime temperatures. The transition from winter to spring began happening so fast in Massachusetts that the impact on the sugaring season was much greater than, say, to the north in Maine. In addition, peak foliage is getting later more often than it used to. Winters have been milder with less snow to protect your roots, and damage to those precious roots reduces the growth of your tree shoots. Over time, the range of maple trees will contract northward as temperatures rise. Your presence will be reduced in southern New England and other areas to the south, and the center of your range will move north into Canada. If left unchecked, the rate that the global temperature will rise will not give you time to be able to evolve and adapt. It will be unlike anything that people of New England have ever seen. The Native Americans of the area worry about that climate change could mean the fulfillment of a prophecy that the maple trees would one day vanish. Researchers see the plight of trees as a call to action. Quick action is needed to slash greenhouse gas emissions for your survival. More than ever before, people are working tirelessly to stop the impact of climate change. Nature is very resilient. If given a break by minimizing the stress, I know you can do the rest. I promise to do all that I can to ensure that you survive because I love you. My friends here and on Zoom, what do you love?
Thank you, Brad, Bill, and Janet, for sharing your love letters with us. Now I'd like to share an essay by Anais Heglar. It's called, "But the Greatest of These is Love." There are many different schools of thought about how we should feel about climate change. For decades, the dominant narrative has been that we should feel guilty. Then there's the dual narrative that calls for hope. Others have called for fear or panic. I myself am on the record for calling for anger. But to tell the truth, I don't always feel angry. In fact, sometimes I'm hopeful. Sometimes I feel scared. Sometimes I'm completely overwhelmed. And sometimes I'm downright stubborn. And that's because none of those emotions really get to the heart of what I truly feel. If I'm honest with myself, what I truly feel is love. And I don't mean any simple, sappy kind of love. I don't mean anything cute or tame. I mean living, breathing, heart-beating love. Wild love. This love is not a noun, it's an action verb. It can shoot stars into the sky. It can spark a movement. It can sustain a revolution. When you love something or someone that much, of course you're frightened when you see it under attack. Of course you're furious at anyone or anything that would dare harm it. But this love is strong enough to break through the terror, hot enough to burn through the anger. Love can shake you out of despair and propel you to the front of the battlefield. So now, please rise in body or in spirit and join us in singing "There Is More Love Somewhere."
This is the time in our service where we now take an offering that allows us to exercise all-important generosity of spirit, an offering that will support this self-supporting church and its many ministries. The gifts of the congregation will be most gratefully received. We have a Share the Plate for April, which is Black Community Collective, which is an umbrella agency for several initiatives. The initiative we'll be funding is called Hampton House Garden Project. It is a Black-led community project aimed at supporting Black leadership and achieved by Black-led organizing. The community garden and a free pantry, one of the two in Reno, are located on Elko Avenue and is run by Lily Barron. Volunteers are encouraged to help Sundays from 6 to 8. For those of us who are present together today, we will be passing the basket. For those on Zoom, you can do your offering by text. Thank you for your generosity. Now let the offering begin.
In lieu of the choir singing for the offering, I will be playing a piece composed by Philip Glass, a minimalist American composer, dedicated to the Dalai Lama when he first made his first public appearance in 1979. So this piece is meant to be meditative, and I hope that you will look inward as we all think about Earth and how we cherish everything that we love about this planet.
To the word of fellowship, which is helping people in love, faith, justice, and joy, we dedicate ourselves, and these are offering.
All right. Now is the time in our service to extinguish the chalice. Hopefully I won't burn myself. If you want to join others here at UUFNN to go deeper on today's topic, then I invite you to come to our next Greener Sanctuary gathering, which is next Sunday after service. The first Earth Day in 1970 shows us how we can create change by coming together around shared values and persistent action. As you use, love is at the heart of our actions. Our UU values reflect a deep awareness of our interconnection and interdependence with the human and non-human world. And when the places and people we love are threatened, UUs show up. So in the coming days, I invite you to write your own love letter. What do you love? What do you want to protect for future generations? What is your next action? And with that, I would like to invite Dom to come up and tell us more about what's next.
We are going to sing Hymn, Touch the Earth, Reach the Sky. Please stand.
We have 3 announcements, so we'll start with Lily.
Good morning. I had an announcement I kind of wanted to make before the offering, but it'll be fine going forward. I just want to say a few words about the Share the Plate program here at UUFNN, since I've heard that a few folks might have a little confusion about how it works. So first and foremost, I want to encourage all of you who can do so and have not as yet done so to make a pledge that fits your budget to our operating budget. This is clearly the most important thing you can do to help sustain the work of the fellowship. Share the Plate is a totally separate program, and not a penny comes from the operating budget. The only contributions the nonprofit we select each month receives come from the basket we pass during the service each Sunday, or gifts to the fellowship that specify that they're for the Share the Plate recipient. And whatever you drop in the basket, if you don't specify, will be split half and half between the operating budget and Share the Plate. So if you do want everything you choose to donate on Sunday to go to the nonprofit, you need to stipulate that on the envelope, which should be behind your seats, or by writing a check, and in that area where you can write something, put all Share the Plate. The last thing I want to say is to encourage everybody, because this is really a congregation-wide effort, to propose some organizations that we might want to fund. There are probably well over 100 local nonprofits that are very worthy of our support, but I can't know about all of them. Anyway, please feel free to contact me if you have any questions. And although the form is on the website, if you prefer to contact me personally through email, I can walk you through the process and do the application with you over the phone. Thank you.
Tough act to follow so many good things, so I'll be brief. I am a member of the transition team and will be having our final meeting today after services, both for people in person in the Star King Room, as well as for folks online. So if you have any final thoughts about what we would like moving forward as we look for a long-term settled clergy person, today would be a good time for you to come to that meeting after services. And surveys will be available, and you'll be able to do that in writing as well. But it's always nice to have the energy of a coming together, because as we speak of love, who does not love a meeting?
Well, for those of you who do or don't love meetings, we're throwing a party. How's that? Yeah, that work for you? This Friday in this room from 5 to 8-ish, we are throwing the very first Climateers Confab, which is a coming together of the various climate group tribes. Some local VIP officials will be there, students, and please join us, because we're adding another dimension to the climate crisis. We're adding fun. Making it like an enjoyable experience to get involved, because getting together with a bunch of fun people is, yes. So there will be, I think, little baby flyers on your way out, and I hope to see you there.
Good morning. Kind of a last-minute announcement. Make sure I get this right. Maybe Brad can help me if I don't. Tomorrow at 11:30 at the County Commissioners, there's going to be a press conference, because the Supreme Court is hearing an argument about fining and charging the unhoused for sleeping in their cars, camping, all of those things that they just passed here at the County Commissioners. So if you can go, tomorrow at 11:30, right? Does anybody know? For certain? Okay. Tomorrow at 11:30, if you can go. They have speakers already set up with Faith in Action Nevada. Chastity Martinez sent us an email about that. So 11:30, they're looking for more people to go and just be there. I know folks are working, but if you can, it'd be great if you can go and be there to show support. And Colleen's trying to raise her hand. I don't have a flyer. It's on Wells Avenue. The county commissioners meeting Wells and 9th. Thank you all. Hope you can go.
Okay, and now for the benediction. In this shared journey, may we be guided by love and the sacred energy that unites us all. May we embody the principles of care, gratitude, and a profound love for the intricate web of life. Blessed be. Amen. Thank you for being here. And now Dawn's going to come up.
Before we leave, I invite you all to be in a meditative state. If you will, please close your eyes, and the choir will envelope the congregation. Go ahead, folks. And we will be singing some solfege and also doing some aleatoric singing. So solfege is, as you all know, if you've been to schools and study music, solfege is where we have do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. And we are using that in place of what the Native Americans would use as American Native vocables. When they do their rituals, they would sing and do and evoke spirits using different syllables that does not have any particular meaning, but the meaning lies from the intention behind their act. And Earth Day is such an important aspect of their tradition, as Earth is mother and sky is father. And I would like us to all invoke this spirit of Mother Nature and our love to the Earth and to all the experiences that we get to share here in this beautiful blue globe. And after that, it will be followed by an aleatoric singing, which again evokes the spirits of Mother Nature. Aleatoric singing is whenever we all sing by chance. As you all can tell, Mother Nature creates through chance. There's no specific structure in anything that you could see out in nature. Everything is random, everything is wild. And we hope that you will bask in this sonic experience as we try to sing and put you in this meditative and spiritual state. And I hope you all have inner peace and much love within, that you're able to share it out there in the world. me to do that. Let us all sing meditation breathing. Let us all stand, please. Thank you all so much.